Welcome back to Safety's Off, episode 18 now?
I think it's either 19 or 20. I'm going to be honest here. We had 2 episodes where I messed up the numbers. We had 2 episode 4s, basically. So that's on me. I think we're on 19 or 20 now.
We were doing such a good job keeping up, too.
Yeah. But really, we've just done so many. It's been such a grind that we've lost count.
You know what happens when you're having fun?
Gosh, you're so right.
That's what happens.
That was good.
Want to read some ads?
Would love to. You go first.
I think we should. I'm going to read Dirty Duck because I still have some, and it's still delicious. Years ago, a passion and legacy was created over common obsession for the wild pursuit of waterfowl. This evolved into a coffee and apparel brand called Dirty Duck. I've replaced my coffee that I've been drinking for years now with Dirty Duck. It's the easiest ad read of all time because the coffee is awesome and their gear is great too. Check them out. Use our promo code KCO, O as in orange, 15. That is KCO15 for 15% off your entire purchase.
Legitimately go get some now. They just came out with a new old school hoodie, old school camo hoodie.
I was on Facebook. One of my old buddies was wearing a Dirty Duck hat.
Shut up.
And I was like, dude, love the hat. We got to talking about it. And I said, send him a picture of mine. I was like, you need to get the black camo. He said, I'm going to go get it right now. So, well, you know what you need to do first? Type in code KCO15.
Yes, sir. KCO15 for 15% off your purchase. Our next sponsor is TripTech. Some guys that we follow forever on social media. This TripTech is a 5-in-1 multi-tool. Works as a punch. Use it to unscrew choke tubes. Upland hunters can even use it to distinguish between mature or juvenile birds. It's a great tool. You should have it on your lanyard. Let's get to the show.
Bro, I almost caught that one.
You got that heater on full blast. You got all the windows down, and you're just you're such a
All right, so today me and Jordan are going to talk about kind of a weird topic, but deer stands. Because the craze right now is saddle hunting. Wouldn't you say?
It is for me.
Yeah. I mean, you're a big-time saddle guy.
Big saddle guy.
Big saddle guy. I am a cheap guy. So I hunt a field and stream lean-to. It's my favorite stand. And then I hunt a ground blind. But the Tide Weed ground blind, which is a sweet ground blind, and it's only like, I think, $130.
Yeah.
I know I've talked about it before, but you can see through the front 3 walls. The back wall is obviously black, so you have a good backdrop, so deer can't really see in. But it's a great archery blind.
Well, let's start there. I mean, we're doing pros and cons.
Yeah, pros and cons. Ground blind.
Pros.
You tell me what. Oh, you want to go pros? Okay.
Let's go pros. Let's do
All
it.
I'll say pros is that it's.
Or we can start cons.
Oh my gosh.
Bad news first. I'm
all
sorry.
right, go bad news
I'm
first.
sorry.
Then
Bad
you
news
got all the
first.
cons. Go ahead.
I'm the con guy?
Yeah, you're the con guy.
Oh man.
I already know you don't do it, so that's why.
I feel so negative right now.
You
No,
even wanted to
I
start
used
with the
to
cons.
I used to hunt out of ground blinds up until last year when I started saddle hunting, but the cons for me from personal experience can be frustrating to set up in the dark. Not the Tide Weed, but some of them.
Yeah.
You know, when they're like a tent and you're putting poles together and all
Oh
that.
yeah, this one's not.
Yeah, it can be a nightmare.
But it can. Yeah, the old school ones were miserable.
But the biggest thing is to do it effectively, you don't have to. I mean, I know you can just go throw it out, hunt, and kill stuff.
Right.
But in my experience, if it has not been set up for, at least a week,
No, you're correct about
brushed in, set up, let the smell dissipate off of it, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna smell it, they're gonna see it. Your senses that you're always talking about, you're gonna blow up 3 of their senses right off the bat. As soon as they walk up to it. So that's always my thing with them is you can't just go out on public land and hunt it because you can't leave your stand up on public land.
Yeah, and it's a big thing to carry around too.
They are that too.
I mean, it's a big thing to lug around. I have kind of learned more so that like people buy these platforms kind of for them and rifle hunt out of them, which is cool and all. So that they can, tear it down and not have to spend a bunch of money on a redneck blind or some muddy blind or whatever they're called. They just want a little ground blind and they're done. Pros for me is that I'm able to move it like we're hunting this new property. I don't exactly know where I want to be, but I also want to have something where I can hunt for archery and hunt rifle. And so this ground blind is pretty dang good for that.
Yeah.
So I can hunt archery, I can move it around, and I'm hunting around these oak trees right now, kind of just tucked in a, little area. But then later on when rifle season comes, I'll just pop it up, move it over a little bit. I'll see down an entire road. I'll be able to shoot, my bad. I'll be able to shoot 150 yards.
Yeah.
And, but the ground blind, it does suck that you got to have it out. Or they're curious. They're super curious of what it is.
Yeah, that's it. You can't kind of hang and bang with it. But you're right with there's some stuff. In fact, a couple years ago, we had a real dense cutover we were hunting. Just bushy, nasty stuff. It was perfect for that.
Yeah,
because you're just another bush. You can get right up in the middle of all that nasty thicket.
But for the same reason you like saddle, you could do a ground blind too, is that you can pick it up and move it. A lean-to is a son of a gun.
Yeah. It's mobile. It's just to let them get used to it.
Right.
But yeah.
So moving right into lean-tos then.
Yeah.
The cons would be is that once it's up.
Now, when you say lean-to, you mean like a ladder?
Yeah, like a ladder
Okay.
stand. Like it leans up against the tree and is
I
there.
just always called them ladders.
What do you call it?
I just called it a ladder.
Oh, there you go. Ladder, lean-to. A ladder lean-to.
Yeah, ladder lean-to.
That's what I've kind of been and I have the rifle rail around me and I feel a little bit safer. And I hadn't been wearing a safety harness.
Ooh, that's
Still haven't right now.
That's a no-no.
Until
well, in that I'm not as.
It's got the rifle thing around me.
With that, I'm not.
And I'm
not
like
worried
15
about
feet up, or 17.
I never wear one in one of those.
Yeah.
Now in a lock-on, yes,
Yeah, you got to in a lock-on sketch.
big time.
Lock-on sketch, you're in a saddle.
It's exactly like a saddle, except you're sitting on your platform instead of being tied above it and standing on it.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's not sketchy. But anyways, back to lean-to. But what I do like about a lean-to is that it's comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Comfy, and I feel like I'm not swaying in the wind.
And it's covered well. And it's covered well because you can burlap or put net around your shooting rest. As far as non-saddle goes, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
for sure.
I enjoy it. I just feel more covered, especially I can get more covered than a ground blind. I'm just, I'm just on the ground.
Yeah,
here I am. So.
Which another pro for the ground blind, your stuff's super accessible because you got the whole ground to put whatever you want.
Yes.
Same kind of goes for the ladder. You've got a little more wiggle room to kind of put your stuff around you.
Yeah.
Lock on again. Your everything has to be screwed into the tree behind you, so it's super hard to organize to where you can get stuff without moving a lot.
So yeah, we'll move. I know we're just zooming through this.
We're whizzing.
But it'd be like that. Lock on. A lock-on to me just seems like, why not just hunt a lean-to?
Well, it's mobile. So we hunted.
Yeah, I guess
one,
you're mobile. That was stupid.
Me. It's okay. That's what I'm here for.
I'm an idiot.
I told that story. That's what me and Justin had to use a couple weeks ago because the way the trees were set up, the only way for me to get a strong side shot where I wanted to shoot was to be on that side of the tree. Whereas with a saddle, I would have been facing the tree and it would have been weak side. So there's places and times where it's necessary, but other than that, I don't find any reason to have one.
Yeah, it just seemed a little sketch. Seemed very, very dangerous. You hear about horror stories every year from lock-ons.
Yeah.
You hear really horror stories from climbers.
Oh, big time.
Climbers, as the wind smokes the shed. Pretty scary.
That was sketchy.
Yeah, that was kind of sketchy, not going to lie. But climbers seem to be by far, they're the lowest on the totem pole. Like, you have a climbing stand, got to get with the times now.
Problem is they're the highest on the totem pole before they become the lowest.
Explain to my pea brain. What do you mean? Like, you get the highest?
Yeah, like you climb up and then you fall to the bottom.
Okay, that's terrible.
Sorry.
All right, that was tough. But speaking of that, you jerk. Even the Seek One guys just did a podcast and a video of a guy fell out of one, I think last year. I think it was. Climbing down, boom, slipped out, paralyzed from the waist down.
Because there's no secondary safety to the tree.
Correct.
Like, that's it.
Correct. You're either your feet are in the bottom or you're hanging onto the top.
Right.
Like, that's legitimately it.
Yeah.
Either your feet are in the bottom and you're standing there, or your feet slip and you're hanging.
And there's nothing tight to the tree either. Like, it's, you're just
Angled.
hoping that those teeth are biting on the other side.
God, that's so scary.
It's sketchy. For sure. I have
it.
never hunted out of a climber. I've been
Not
like
worth
I've messed
it.
with them in the yard,
Yeah.
but I've never hunted out of one.
Not worth it.
No.
Like, not sure the pros. Yeah, you're hype. Just get you go to something else.
Carry climbing sticks.
Yeah, carry climbing sticks. Get you a lock on. Be done.
Yeah.
But there's climber, man. It's just lugging those things around.
That's the other downside to a lock on too. It's a beast to carry around.
Can be. Yeah, it can be if you get if you get a bigger one. But the climbers, they're all big.
Yeah, because you got 2 pieces.
Miserable. I don't know how anybody's ever done that.
They used to. That was all they had back in the Gap.
Yeah, that's sad.
At my old lease, there was 2 trees up on this ridge. We called it Cemetery Ridge, and there was 2 old climbers grown into the tree. We're like a father and son hunted together.
Yeah.
And they just left them there. Probably
Yeah.
because they said
Yeah.
this is the stupidest
This
thing.
is dumb. We're done with these. Done. And then the other thing for archery, which I wanted to talk about some, is saddles. We talked about it a second ago a little bit. You being a big saddle guy, what do you think got you from lock-ons to saddles?
Well, what I just said, it's way easier to carry around. That's number one for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pitchy stuff that they give you, like, you can shoot 360 degrees and the trees between you and the deer, and
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, yes and no. Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, I can shoot the same radius out of a saddle that I can shoot out of a lock on, really. I mean, if I'm tied in and I feel safe, then I can
turn around.
I can turn around.
Yeah.
And I can reach around.
Yeah.
Now, I have better shots out of the
Right.
saddle, but I wouldn't say that that's as much of a benefit. It's safer, way safer.
I would say the best thing about it, obviously it's safe, but then also how light it is. You are
Yeah.
wearing your stand to
Super mobile.
where you want to be.
Yeah, because I mean, your platforms, my platform's this big, so it's like the size of a big,
So with
big
people-
lunchbox.
So with people that hunt private property, because I'm thinking about getting one, they're just so stupid expensive. $400 to get started.
Yeah, but so's a lone wolf. 500 actually.
I guess, but
So I mean, for quality,
yeah,
any kind of quality deer stand. Now, granted, you can go to Academy and get something
150.
cheaper. Yeah,
Be done.
But I mean, your life's literally on the line here. So
that too in a saddle feels like it's multiple stands in one. I've already planted that seed in my wife's brain.
you need to let her listen
Is
to
that
this
if I get a saddle, you can hunt different areas. You could just get different sticks. You could get 4 sets of sticks. And you just have 4 different trees. All right, today I'm going to go up and I'm going to hook my saddle onto here.
You can. To me, that defeats the purpose of the saddle, though. Like, the purpose of the saddle is if I'm in this tree and I see that the deer are 50 yards over
you
here,
can be able to move.
the next day I can go in that tree.
Yeah.
So I always walked in with my sticks and my like all my stuff, and I
Yeah.
just set up every day. It was like, I mean, it's
I was just thinking if you're private land hunting over corn. But what
yeah.
you're
If
saying
you're,
is
if you're on bait
correct.
sites, then yeah. But
Yeah.
there I would
Public,
just,
you for sure need a saddle.
but I mean, on that I would just have I'd have a ladder on it,
Yeah.
because like you said, it's simpler. I don't have to carry anything in. I can just climb up and sit down.
Well, okay, so here's what I'm experiencing. And this is why I'm thinking about saddles. I hunt a food plot, and I put it on video. It's my only hunting video for so far this year. Is where I see a doe. I see a doe out in the pine thicket. She's kind of like off the food plot. Well, at the back of the food plot, we have a trail. I can see probably about 175 yards. A deer walks across. So the next time I went out there during the day, I was like, I just want to go see where these deer are walking. And I just kind of followed a trail back there, and it's the biggest white oak of all time. The fattest white oak of all time. And it didn't make real well this year, as many white oaks didn't. But I know that in the future, that's where I got to get. I got to get closer to that. So but I don't want to move the lean-to because the lean-to is on a food plot. So that's when I'm like, dang it, I wish I had a saddle just to do some early season sits. When the acorns are falling, I'll sit here. I won't really corn that up as much. But then when the hard freeze comes and all the acorns are done with, I'll move back to that ladder. I'll start corning up
For
more,
sure.
you
I mean,
know.
on my lease, I saddled a lot of times within 100 yards of a bow stand on a feeder.
Right.
But like I've talked about, I was hunting big bucks, and I don't think big bucks go to feeders. So I was
Yeah.
trying to catch them, but they come around them
Yeah.
all the time because that's where the does are. So I was going out 100 yards into the woods in my saddle, hoping to catch him coming in, trying to sniff around these hot
That's
does
what you
at
would
the
do
feeder.
during the rut.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
Is
So
you would
yeah,
try to
there's
catch
there's
it.
some benefit to that. I would agree.
Yeah.
I think you should. I think everybody should have a saddle in their.
Tell my wife that. Do me a favor.
I will.
Text her after this.
I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's another
For my success.
It's another tool.
You could kill a doe on a lean-to. I think you kill more bucks in a saddle. And because mobility. Like
mobility, I said you don't have a whole lot more shot opportunity, but I mean you do have some more. There's not a lot that you can't shoot,
right?
As long as you can get yourself positioned. But so that
I think we basically just did an ad for saddle hunting.
I do that every time I talk about them, but I love it, and it's more comfortable, way more comfortable. That's the other thing. I would rather sit in a saddle than a lock on. Any day.
See, Riley from Simmons, I was talking to him about it, and he said that he sat in one for like 6 hours, then went back, sat another like 4. He basically sat all daylight hours.
Oh, no, I pulled probably 10, maybe a dozen all-day sits. Never got down last year in my saddle.
Pretty nice.
And was perfectly fine.
I don't know if I could sit on my couch that long.
Oh, I'm not saying
Psych, yes,
I mean, I was sore.
That was a joke. I could definitely do
does
that.
it every weekend.
Yeah, I could do that for sure.
No, man. Especially if I'm wearing my thick stuff, like if it's real cold, man, you get a little extra padding on
cozy.
there. Little snug.
Not a bad idea.
So
tell my wife.
It's comfy. You
Do
can
me a
shoot
favor.
more.
Tell my wife.
I will.
The reason I want to talk about this, really, I wanted you to talk me into because you do a great job of things you have talking me into buying them.
I do.
For instance, Sitka, my tool bucket, my backpack.
I have vicariously spent a lot of your money.
You have. My tool bucket and my Sitka gloves, they're sick. They're Sitka.
See, I wasn't.
God, that was good.
I was not gonna plug Sitka, but when I was talking about the thick stuff, Sitka Fanatic, bro, it's like wearing a pillow on your butt.
I'm switching to First Light, but I don't want to get into that.
No, you don't.
I'm switching to
you
some
don't
First
want to get
Light.
into that.
I'm switching to some First Light, I think. So, anyways, back to buying more stuff. But yeah, you always talk me into it, and I felt like
It's worth it.
So this past week, I checked my trail camera, my non-cell camera, and a few weeks.
Have those?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I only have 2 cell cameras. But anyways, so a few weeks ago, I saw this nasty 9. I think I'm just gonna call him Mufasa. Mufasa or the nasty 9? Pick. Help me.
I'm going nasty 9 because
Nasty
Mufasa
9's
needs to
kinda
be saved for like
old.
the dude.
Well, I'll show you a picture of him. You can tell me.
Simba.
You can tell me if it's the dude. But
You can have him Simba.
Yeah.
Because his daddy's out there somewhere.
I don't know if this one's got a daddy out there. But so I saw him probably 3 weeks ago on camera at midnight. And I was like, right now, I'm just like, that's a huge deer.
Well, let me see the picture, and I'll tell
That's
you
a big
what you should
old
name him.
nasty deer.
Ooh.
That's really close to being Mufasa. But so he's out at midnight, but he is out there on a food plot.
Can we show the people?
I don't care. Yeah, I'll post it. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll pop it up right now.
Here.
Yeah, it's up there. You can tell me how old you think this deer is. So
We should.
I'm thinking 5.5, 6.5.
I'm
Okay,
saying
5.5.
4.5. Mostly because we do not have 6-year-old deer in Louisiana.
I'm gonna say 5.5.
Could be 5. I'm gonna say 4.5.
He
Is
I'll show you some more pictures of
he
him
is
after
for
this.
sure mature, and that would be my buck, my hit list buck for sure.
Oh, absolutely. He's the
100%.
biggest. Yeah.
Regardless of rack, like you see a buck that mature, that's the one I'm going after.
Yes. So he came out then, and when he comes out, there's no other deer out there. Like there'll be deer out, he pops out, and they're all gone. And same here. This picture is at 4 a.m. 10 minutes earlier, there's does and a little 5-point or 6-point out there. He steps out. You see in that picture, there's no other deer. So he is like Mufasa. Thank you, Mufasa. So he is like the ruler of this land nobody likes, right?
Yes,
Just nasty.
everything that the sunlight touches.
Is his.
Yes.
Like, get off of this. This is my corn. And I still don't have a picture of him eating the corn. He's just out on that food
He
plot.
just doesn't want them to eat it.
Exactly. He's like, this is mine. So this is for my coons. You leave the raccoons alone. They're going to enjoy it, not your deer. But anyway, so I started thinking, kind of like in your mindset of, all right, he's not on the food plot in the daylight, but he's somewhere close. He's also only showing up once every couple weeks. And so, I watched some more Jeff Sturgis videos about hunting right now. You want to basically get in between the bedding and the food plot, food plot or the food source.
Right.
You want to hit those trails up real hard. that's when I'm like, man, if I had a saddle,
Yeah.
I text you about finding some spots on the property that I thought this is a good spot to just like come sit every now and then. I think the deer are traveling in here. I put up a trail camera. They're traveling in the night, so I'm still not finding those midday.
Something traveling in the night outside our
Yeah,
shed.
this wind is legit. So I'm still not finding these trails they're hitting during the day. But a saddle, you go in and you don't mess up, as much as of the environment. Like, I mean, they see a ladder stand. They might actually see it. Saddle, they're not going to see your climbing sticks most likely. So I'm sitting here I'm basically
Most
just
of the time.
selling everyone on a saddle.
Well, you're selling yourself for sure.
Someone needs to sponsor us.
And I have not gone back to mentioning either. Well, we've tried
Yeah, it's true.
multiple times.
Yes.
I'm about to change the brands.
Yes.
I'm mad.
Yes.
I'm not gonna.
Don't-
I'm not gonna
don't-
brand shame.
Yeah, don't
But
do
I
it
am
now.
gonna say
Don't
I'm
do it right
gonna
now.
go to a tethered.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is something to the idea of having the tree for cover. I said that's like people always talk about that, and for me, maybe I'm just really bad at picking the direction the deer are coming from. But
Yeah.
I'm almost always wrong,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's a lot of times. A lot of people. I mean, unless you're in the desert or something where they're super or Midwest, like they're super patterned. They go from here to here every day.
Yeah.
Here, deer don't do that.
Yeah,
they
they
go
don't.
here.
Yeah.
So anyway, point being, most of the time I did not have the tree for cover. But if you do have them patterned like that, and their bed is
Right,
that way,
yeah.
their food is this way, I'm sitting like this.
Yeah.
And I did have some deer come in that way, and you're invisible. I mean, there's nothing but
Yeah.
your shoulders, and you kind of peeking around the side. You look like a coon up there. So
Yeah.
that's a big bonus if it's right.
I'm selling myself on it. Ugh. Selling myself on it big time. I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try it this summer. I'm gonna try to go a whole year without it. See what happens.
Or
I'm listening.
Christmas,
Maybe Santa will bring me one.
Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah, but yeah, maybe so. I don't know. We talked enough about saddles. Let's get into leaky waders.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Yes, I do.
You want to go first?
I do have
All
one.
right, you go first.
Unfortunately. All right, so
Dang, deep sigh into the microphone.
Oh, dude.
holy moly!
I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Granted, the leak has been patched, but anyway. All right, last week was my anniversary,
Yeah.
so it was Thursday. So my wife gets us a little romantic night away. She got us a hotel room downtown Shreveport.
Okay.
So nobody would know, but the Remington, like a fancy hotel,
yes,
right?
Yes, indeed. People would know.
Yeah, got us a nice room.
Yeah.
It's got a spa in there. We had massages lined up.
for you.
Awesome. So there's actually two parts to this leak. So first part, bless her heart, it was super romantic,
Yes.
but she scattered rose petals all
Oh,
over the
love
room.
it. This
Love
is
it.
great.
Precious. Right?
Yes.
Well, there were black, white, and purple roses.
Yes.
God did not make a purple rose.
Yes.
He made white roses, and then
Oh,
some idiot at
no.
Kroger put purple
Die.
dye on the white roses.
Oh no.
Okay, so fast forward from the time I walk in to the time I wake up, everywhere that there was a purple rose petal is now purple.
Oh no.
Dude, I'm talking pillowcases, sheets, bedding, rug, you name it. It's just stained Barney purple. So I'm still waiting on that bill.
Oh man.
But that was just that. So
Yeah.
all that happens. My little girl's got a school play the next morning, so I get up in a hurry. My wife's already gone. They convinced me to valet my trucks. They're like, hey, this is a sketchy neighborhood. Like this is Shreveport.
yeah.
in
It's
general.
not a neighborhood. It's a sketchy
Yeah,
city.
City.
Yeah.
So I did let them valet. Never done that in my life. They bring my truck around. I'm like, got to get to the school, jump in, go. Go to the play. Still in a hurry. Got to go back out of town. So I speed back to my house. Anyway, get to my house and I get out. And that's the first time I actually walk around the other side of my truck. And I look.
no.
Oh, yes. Freaking Elroy or whoever.
Friggin' Elroy.
There was, you can see exactly what happened. I'm driving the widest truck on the road,
Yeah.
and there must have been a parking pole or something, and he cut the corner too sharp and just annihilated my rear right fender. Like, bad. And then I got to go out of town. So I jump in the car with a bunch of dudes, and we're driving to Dallas, and I call the hotel, and I'm chewing them up one side and down the other.
Yeah.
And the lady calls me back, the manager. She's super nice. It was like 2 hours. She said, look, I'm sorry to just call you back. I've been spending the last 2 hours calling the night crew, waking people up, going over film footage. She said, long story short, there was nobody parked next to you, and that's where the camera is, so I could not see. But I finally saw when it drove in, it didn't have the scrape. When it came out, it did. So I take full responsibility. We're going to fix it. So that's the good news.
Yeah.
The not so good news, she said, you get an estimate, I'll get an estimate, we'll come up with something fair, and I'll cut you a check. Well, I can tell you right now, it's a nice truck.
Yeah.
I'm not putting Amazon fenders on there.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
From the dealership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
genuine parts.
Yeah.
So it's going to be expensive.
Good luck with that. Maybe y'all could just even trade bedding for the fender. Done. You
Might
do
be-
the fender.
Yeah.
The bedding's probably nice.
Well, I'm not bringing the bedding up.
Shout out to your wife, though. That was nice.
But it was super sweet. And
Yeah.
if they do bring up the bedding, I'm going to say, well, you jacked up my truck. So
yeah.
now we're even.
Even Steven.
Mm-hmm.
The stress, the mental stress that
After
it put
you
on
fix my truck. I will bleach your sheets. You fix my truck.
Oh,
So anyway, that's it.
mine's not near as bad as that. That made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it was rough.
Because not everybody has a nice truck like you. Like I drive an old beat up 2017 Ford F-150.
I drive a beat up 2018 Ford F-150 now.
Raptor.
It's a
Oh, no.
It's a
stop.
It's a
Stop.
Raptor.
It's a Raptor.
It's an F-150 though.
It's nasty. It is an F-150, but it's a Raptor.
Yeah.
My leaky waders that shout out Trexa Luggage. They wanted me to do a review video.
Big time.
Trexa is owned by the same people that own Hook Coolers. So, yeah, dude, it's a free plug for Trexa right here. This was not in the contract. Boom. Trexa Luggage. Boom. Buy it now. TrexaLuggage.com, I think. Not real sure, but yeah, he sends me, all the stuff I need to do a review video, yada, yada, yada. I get in here last night, Sunday night. I told him I'd have it by Wednesday, no big deal. I go to film it. I get my DSLR out, my camera. It says memory card is locked. I can't make it not say the memory card is locked. So that's Leaky Wader 1 is my $400, $500 DSLR camera I think is just done. Luckily, Jacob had left his here, so I used it. I shot the whole thing one time. I didn't really like it. I do different takes within that. I was like, I'm just going to do another one. And I did that one. And then when I got done, I'm like sitting here. I'm like, that was pretty good. That was good. I like that. I like all that. I go back and it just says memory card is full. It only recorded like the first 30 seconds of the second take. So I am like fighting mad, yelling in here. I hate this, blah, blah, blah. And so I just go to bed. I'm just pissed off all day about it. I got in here today. One take Timmy. I got it done. Not one take Timmy really, but I did one more good take. I'm done though. So Leaky Wader patched, much like yours is getting patched. So man, not a lot to complain about right now though.
No, man,
although I do love complaining in Leaky Wader.
Gosh, yes.
It's a good time.
Well,
We're both blessed guys.
we are.
It's not something.
It's hard to my Raptor got scratched. This is the worst day of my life.
Yeah, that is true. Golly.
But
Yeah.
it
It
sucks.
does suck.
It
Yeah,
sucks.
it does suck. I mean, yeah, your truck gets scratched. It does suck. But there are a lot of good things going on too. I guess we need to have like a full limit section of this. Like we killed a full limit. That would be our.
Ooh,
What's your full limit? What's your
little
leaky
silver
wader?
lining section.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just to highlight a blessing to talk about
Yes.
something good.
Yes.
Am I?
You know why you thought of that? Because you actually went to church last week.
Hey, that's probably true. That's all I got. Kind of a shorter episode, although we are at 30 minutes, so
Right on the money.
didn't feel like that, but it is. So make sure you guys go check out Dirty Duck, check out Trip Tech, and then check us out. Support us by buying their stuff.
Yes. And use our code.
Use our code,
please.
and subscribe, like, comment, and then buy you some shirts. Christmas is coming around. Everybody would love a good Kepler Creek hat or a Kepler Creek shirt for
Would
Christmas.
they not?
In their stocking.
They
That
would
just
love
be
it.
the sweetest thing of all time.
Little Doe Slayer action.
That'd be sweet. In buck shaming shirt.
Yes.
It's a good one. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that. Go to church.